Hello, Block 2. Today we're going to be reviewing polynomial operations, so adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing polynomials, as well as factoring them. So you're going to have a worksheet to do and you're going to submit by midnight tonight. You don't have to write any of these notes down. You can just refer to them when you get to the division part on your worksheet, which is number 5, the very last problem. So one thing that you haven't done yet is divide polynomials. I'm going to show you two types of dividing. Actually, the harder one, or the synthetic division that we have to do for these, I accidentally taught to you guys on the first day of class when I thought that you were already taking the first half of Algebra 2. So this is going to be a little bit of a review, but you probably won't remember it. Okay, so let's just start dividing. So when you're just dividing by a single thing like this, here we're going to divide by 2, here we're going to divide by x. You can really just separate the numerator like with the operation. So this is a 4x and a negative 12. So you can really just, in theory, separate them and divide each one by 2. Like that. So basically you're just dividing each part by 2. 4x over 2 is 2x. And negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6. So here you kind of just use the separation method. Same thing here, you're just going to divide everything by x. Now if you remember from your exponent rules, when you divide exponents with the same base, they all do have the same base of x, so they're all like. You just subtract the exponents. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to separate. Again, you don't have to show your separation. You can just divide each part by x automatically. Right here, subtract the exponents. Technically, an x has an exponent of 1, x to the first. 3x cubed over x to the first is 3x squared. 9x squared over x to the first is x to the first with a 9 coefficient, 9x. And then negative 3x over x is just the x divided by x just cancels out. You're left with negative 3. Okay? So when you're not dividing just by a single thing and you're dividing by like an expression, a binomial, it has 2 parts now. There's 2 ways that you can divide polynomials. There's long division like you would do for numbers. And then there's also synthetic division, and synthetic means fake, and it's just a shorter way, which I did teach you guys on the first day by accident. So what you do for these is you have a division box, and again, this is very quick. So I have this like little box here on the left, and the number that you put in the box is the opposite value of, so here we're dividing by x plus 5. So I want you to ZPP that, and we're going to put negative 5 in this box instead. Okay, one thing that you need to make sure of before you do the next step is that the exponents of what you're dividing into is in descending order. So we have 2, 1, 0, perfect. And you also have to make sure that nothing is missing. So if it starts with squared, it can't be missing the first power. And if it was missing something, you would put in a 0 coefficient placeholder for it. So if this was missing the 10x and it was just x squared plus 18, you would rewrite that as x squared plus 0x plus 18 because everything needs a placeholder when you do division. Here we're not missing anything though. We have 2, 1, 0. I just want you to list out the coefficients to the right. There's only 3 coefficients. So this just has a coefficient of 1. This has a coefficient of 10. And this has a coefficient of 18. 18x to the 0 is the same as 18. Okay? Then we're going to have our little addition bar right here. And your acronym for this is BMA. And you repeat the BMA over and over, or just the MA over and over again until you're done. B stands for bring down. That's your first step. And then you repeat MA, which is multiply, add, multiply, add. And again, this is the shortcut for division. So it completely gets rid of the variable and you're just dealing with the coefficients, okay? First step is to bring down your first coefficient below the addition line. So we're going to bring down the 1. Now we're going to multiply. You always multiply what you bring down with the number in the division box. So 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. and now you add. Well, technically we're subtracting, but 10 plus negative 5 is the same as 10 minus 5, which is 5. Bring it below. Now we again multiply with the number in the box. So 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Okay, now we add again. 18 minus 25 is negative 8. Sorry, negative 7. Use a calculator if you need to, guys. Okay, now we're all done because we have multiplied, added, brought down everything so far, and these are just the coefficients of your answer. So when you divide, typically things get smaller. So if we divide it into an x squared polynomial, it becomes one less exponent. So we're starting with x to the first. These are just the coefficients, and you're bringing them down in descending order. So 1x to the first. And you don't have to put the 1 exponent if you don't want to. And then this would be the x to the 0, which is just the constant, 5x to the 0. And what the last column is your remainder. So that means if you didn't get 0 in the last column, it didn't go in evenly. There's a remainder left over. And the way that you write the remainder is that number that you got, so minus 7, all over what you divided by. I'm going to rewrite this down below. Basically, we just got x plus 5 minus 7 over x plus 5. When we divided x squared plus 10x plus 18 by x plus 5. There's your answer. We're going to do one more. Okay, so I have my division box. And I'm going to ZPP my x minus 5. So this time, positive 5 is going in our box. To the right, I'm going to list my coefficients. I'm also going to make sure nothing is missing. So 3, 2, 1, 0. Nothing is missing, and it's in descending order. I'm just going to list my coefficients now. That's 1. Technically, there's a 1 in front of this x cube. Negative 10, 20, and 26. So in this example, we're going to have an extra column because we start with cubed. My addition bar. Okay, so first step, bring down the 1. Multiply with the box. 5 times 1 is 5. Add, so negative 10 plus 5 is negative 5. Multiply with the box. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Add 20 minus 25 is negative 5. Multiply. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. And add 26 plus negative 25 is the same as 26 minus 25, which is 1. So here, 1 is our remainder. It did not go in evenly, okay? So we write our polynomial quotient, our answer, with 1 less from the exponent. We're starting with x squared. So we have 1x squared minus 5x to the first minus 5x to the 0, and then this is our remainder. We write that as positive 1 over what we divided by, x minus 5. Okay, and you don't have to write the 1, you don't have to write the x to the 0 because this is just the constant. X squared minus 5x minus 5 plus 1 over x minus 5. There's our quotient. So again, there's a longer way, but this is the shorter way. And if you move on to pre-calculus next year, you might see this. Okay, if you have any questions, you can post in the comment section below or onto Google Classroom. Bye.